Hello, my name is Tony Dong. Uber CEO Travis Kalanick's spectacular Flameout. Travis Kalanick's wild ride is over. I woke up this morning in Cannes, France to the news that Kalanick had resigned. Like a heavyweight boxer whose momentum had turned, Kalanick has taken punch after punch this year, from the outrage in January over his association with Donald Trump, to the widely viewed video of his berating an Uber driver, to the explosive blog post by an ex-employee alleging systemic sexual discrimination at Uber, to Google's Google 0.41% charges of theft of its self-driving car technology. I thought Kalanick's leave of absence, announced just last week, was a weak half measure. It was a way to appease the gods of outrage without really giving up power or influence. He didn't say when HED be back. He implied HED keep watch on the most important issues at Uber. Now, under pressure from investors, Kalanick has completed the task. By resigning, has given his company an opportunity to move forward. Two areas in particular might benefit from Kalanick's exit, keeping in mind he hasn't resigned from the Uber board nor given up his influential voting shares of the company's stock. First, his removal will make it immeasurably easier to recruit a new leader. The company had been looking for a chief operating officer, an awkward proposition at best given the uncertainty over Kalanick's status. Now, this still global company with widespread customer acceptance and billions in the bank can recruit a CEO and offer her or him total control. Second, to the extent that Uber's legal problems worsen, and to the extent they focus on Kalanick's personal role, including in recruiting an ex-Google engineer to head autonomous vehicle development, some of that legal heat can be focused on Kalanick, rather than Uber. Kalanick's spectacular Flameout is one for the ages. His stubborn persistence and vision made Uber what it is. Flying in the face of convention was an asset, but ultimately a horrible liability. The way forward for Uber is unclear. But now it doesn't include Travis Kalanick. Given the news, I'll save for tomorrow my additional reports from Cannes, where I'm attending the International Festival of Creativity. But I'll leave you with one thought. At a small dinner last night hosted by the Alphabet Google unit Jigsaw, the conversation turned, as it does so frequently when the subject of great companies arises, to Apple. Today's Wall Street Journal has an elegant and comprehensive review of the rise of Apple. 0.07% in the decade since the iPhone launched, complete with a fascinating chart plotting the iPhone's success with that of other great products. Travis Kalanick shares certain traits with Steve Jobs, including a fierce rule-breaking streak. But the comparisons are thin and of limited value. Jobs built one of the best companies the world has ever seen. Kalanick. Thank you for watching. For the follow-up, subscribe to the channel yourself here.
During the Holder and Perkins Coie investigations, rumors flew that both them and former Joe Ryan Graves, who ran global operations, were going to be pushed aside. Though neither was, the time is ripe for both to move on. Again, this isn't about achievements. Both men did remarkable things at Uber, where Fam's technical teams made Graves' ever-growing operations possible, but they are part of a leadership team that is now mostly a memory. With Michael, Baker, and Kalanick gone, arguably those two represent the strongest ties to the old Uber. And fairly, or not, that old Uber is an organization which is considered to have shown little regard for women or drivers. While Fam's teams were certainly not the only place women at Uber felt uncomfortable, they were very likely the least hospitable in the company. Graves was the man Kalanick famously hired over Twitter to be the first show.
Thank you for watching. For the follow-up, subscribe to the channel yourself here. Regulators, drivers, riders and employees. The company often flouted city regulations for taxi companies with a culture that encouraged principled confrontation. The company's hard-charging style has led to legal trouble. The U.S. Justice Department is investigating Uber's past usage of phony software designed to thwart local government regulators who wanted to check on whether Uber was carrying passengers without permission. A key step toward Kalanick's downfall came in February, when former Uber engineer Susan Fowler posted a personal essay about the year she spent at Uber, writing that she was propositioned by her manager on her first day with an engineering team. She reported him to Human Resources, but was told he would get a lecture and no further punishment because he was a high performer, she wrote. That caught the board's attention and brought outside investigations that led to the firing of 20 people including some managers. Former Attorney General Eric Holder conducted one of the probes, finding that the male-dominated Uber didn't have the most basic policies to protect workers from harassment. Holder's report suggested procedures that most companies have had for years, such as using performance reviews to hold leaders accountable. Also, Kalanick lost his temper in an argument with an Uber driver who was complaining about pay. The profanity-laced confrontation was caught on a video that surfaced in February. Afterward, Kalanick said he needed management help and had to grow up. The company began searching for a chief operating officer. In March, board member Arianna Huffington expressed confidence that Kalanick would evolve into a better leader. But Huffington, a founder of Huffington Post, suggested time might be running out. "He's a scrappy entrepreneur," she said during the call, but one who needed to bring changes in himself and in the way he leads. During the past year, several senior managers left the company, including the president and chief. In March, board member Arianna Huffington expressed confidence that Kalanick would evolve into a better leader. But Huffington, a founder of Huffington Post, suggested time might be running out. "He's a scrappy entrepreneur," she said during the call, but one who needed to bring changes in himself and in the way he leads. During the past year, several senior managers left the company, including the president and chief financial officer. Outside experts said the only way to change Uber's culture was for Kalanick to step aside. But Uber's ownership and voting structure made it difficult to oust him. Kalanick took an indefinite leave of absence earlier this month, in part to deal with a personal tragedy. In May, his mother was killed and his father hurt in a boating accident on a California lake. Thank you for watching. For the follow-up, subscribe to the channel yourself here.